The Xfinity 5-year price guarantee. You get 5 years of the most reliable Wi-Fi with our best equipment included for a price that stays exactly the same.
What if you can create your own website by saying, this is what I want? What clicks can? First off, let's talk about AI color. Which combo that you want. Bold and bright, minimalist and sleek, or something you didn't even think of. There's a lot of the love to live in the weeds, but Christine Roman she's joining us now to help us understand it. Egg prices spiking, as anybody who has eyeballs and has been to the grocery store has seen. What does this mean for people? Cheap AI. Talk to me like not me, and you know me. How big of a deal is this? We managed to arrange a beautiful full moon. I get it. This is just 1 hour. I want you to just vibe in the moment. Taking over the helm of a 75. Top downs. Every stay away. Well before. Correct. Something that I stay away. Well before. We're 13 a.m. Mars answer call 911. I'm a male, sugar female. Now turned in the ambulance screaming. That email requesting the shot briefly wounded. You and make sure that she is still breathing. The 911 operator guided Mars to police raced up to the house, dash cam rolling. The audio kept recording as they entered the house. They found Lars standing over Devin's body back by the bedroom. As an officer tended to Debbie, Lars tried to explain how the shooting happened.
Test 1 2 3. Test 1 2 3. Test 1 2 3. What's up, man? How y'all doing? Yeah, I'll take a quick look. All right. Test 1 2 3. So I see that we're live on Myron Gaines X. I'm gonna check. I can check Rumble. We're live on Kick and shit too, right? So we're literally everywhere. All right. Cool. We're here. Hey, what's up, man? Hey, man. We're bro. I've been out here a few minutes already, and it's hey. I guess they like the JQ talk. Okay, cool. We're growing. I'm just kidding. But no.
Yeah. I'll be there.
for the acquisition or improvement of land or for the acquisition or improvement of property to be used in connection with the research or experimentation and of a character which is subject to the allowance under section 167 relating to allowance for depreciation, etc., or section 611 relating to allowance for depletion. But for the purposes of this section, allowances under section 167 and allowances under section 611 shall be considered as expenditures too. Expiration expenditures. This section shall not apply to any expenditure paid or incurred for the purpose of ascertaining the existence, location, extent, or quality of any deposit of ore or mineral, including oil and gas. 3, software development. For purposes of this section, any amount paid or incurred in connection with the development of any software shall be treated as a research or experimental expenditure. B, coordination with certain other provisions. 1, foreign research expenses. Section 174 is amended. A in subsection A. 1, by striking a taxpayer specified research or experimental expenditures and inserting a taxpayer's foreign research or experimental expenditures. And 2, by striking over the 5-year period, 15-year period in the case of any specified research or experimental expenditures which are attributable to foreign research within the meaning of section 41D4F, then paragraph 2B, and inserting over the 15-year period. B in subsection B. 1, by striking specified research and inserting foreign research. 2, by inserting and which are attributable to foreign research within the meaning of section 41D4F before the period at the end. And 3, by striking specified in the heading thereof and inserting foreign. And C in subsection D. 1, by striking specified research or experimental expenditures, inserting foreign research or experimental expenditures. And 2, by inserting or reduction to amount realized after no deduction.
Two, research credit. A, section 41D 1A is amended to read as follows. A, with respect to which expenditures are treated as domestic research or experimental expenditures under section 174A. B, section 280 CE1 is amended to read as follows. 1, in general, the domestic research or experimental expenditures otherwise taken into account under sections 174A shall be reduced by the amount of the credit allowed under section 41A. 3, AMT adjustment. Section 56B2 is amended. A, in subparagraph A. 1, by striking or 174A in the matter preceding clause 1 and inserting 174A or 174AA. And 2, by striking research and experimental expenditures described in section 174A in clause 2 thereof and inserting foreign research or experimental expenditures described in section 174A and domestic research or experimental expenditures in section 174AA. And B, in paragraph C, by inserting or 174A after 174AA. 4, optional 10-year write-off. Section 59E2B is amended by striking section 174A relating to research and experimental expenditures, inserting section 174AA relating to domestic research or experimental expenditures. 5, qualified small issue bonds. Section 144A4C4 is amended by striking 174A and inserting 174AA. 6, startup expenditures. Section 195C1 is amended by striking or 174 in the last sentence and inserting 174 or 174A. 7, capital expenditures. A, section 263A1B is amended by inserting or 174A after 174. B, section 263A C2 is amended by inserting or 174A after 174. 8, active business computer software royalties. Section 543D4A1 is amended by inserting 174A after 174. 9, source rules. Section 864G2 is amended. A, by striking research and experimental expenditures within the meaning of section 174 in the first sentence and inserting foreign research or experimental expenditures within the meaning of section 174, or domestic research or experimental expenditures within the meaning of section 174. And B, in the last sentence, 1, by striking treated as deferred expenses under subsection B of section 174 and inserting allowed as an amortization deduction under section 174A or section 174AC. And 2, by striking such subsection and inserting such section as the case may be. 10, basis adjustment. Section 1016A14 is amended.
Ready to take the next step in your career? Earn the credentials you need to secure your future.
Tonight, breaking news, the major Supreme Court ruling strengthening the president's hand involving birthright citizenship. The severe storms as we come on the air, hundreds of flights canceled in the Northeast, and the suspected shark bite at a popular New York beach. First, the U.S. Supreme Court in a 6-3 decision along ideological lines, allowing President Trump to move forward with his plans to change birthright citizenship, ruling that federal judges cannot put nationwide blocks on his executive orders. The president calling it a giant win, and what it means for the rest of his sweeping agenda. And the High Court's other major rulings tonight on parents' rights, Obamacare, and more. The severe weather watch tonight, storms heading east, flash flooding in West Virginia. Officials say 5 inches of rain in less than an hour. The massive highway backup, where the temperatures are surging again tonight. And how a 76-year-old Florida woman survived after her home was lifted, then slammed back down by a tornado. Pete Goldberg with the forecast. A possible shark bite at a popular New York beach. A woman standing in waist-high water, the lacerations on her leg and foot. This video showing a different baby shark on the same beach the same day. Breaking news, one of the last fugitives who broke out of a New Orleans jail more than 6 weeks ago, captured late today. What we've just learned. The defense delivering its closing argument in the trial of Sean Diddy Combs, saying the case is not about sex trafficking or racketeering, but a great modern love story and a music mogul's swinger lifestyle. The president of the University of Virginia resigning today under pressure amid an investigation by the Trump administration into the school's DEI efforts. The mystery solved, what we've learned about that fireball streaking across several southern states. And America Strong tonight, the Jeopardy contestant and the game-winning clue that fans are calling the most amazing coincidence in the history of Jeopardy.
From ABC News World Headquarters in New York, this is World News Tonight with David Muir.
Good evening. It's great to have you with us on this Friday night. I'm Wade Johnson in for David. And we begin with that major ruling from the U.S. Supreme Court, strengthening President Trump's authority in a decision involving birthright citizenship. The 6-3 decision along ideological lines, ruling that federal judges cannot put nationwide blocks on a president's executive orders. Justice Amy Coney Barrett writing for the majority that federal courts do not exercise general oversight of the executive branch. Justice Sonia Sotomayor writing for the justices in dissent that the president's bid to end birthright citizenship makes a solemn mockery of our Constitution. President Trump calling it a big win, making a rare appearance in the White House briefing room today, saying he'll now move forward with his plans to limit birthright citizenship. The Supreme Court ruling may also allow the president to charge ahead on other parts of his agenda. ABC's senior Washington reporter Devin Dwyer leads us off at the Supreme Court.
Tonight, the Supreme Court's conservative majority dramatically limiting the ability of federal judges to check presidential power. The 6-3 decision allows President Trump to move forward with plans to end birthright citizenship, which has been law of the land for more than 100 years.
This morning, the Supreme Court has delivered a monumental victory for the Constitution, the separation of powers, and the rule of law.
Federal judges in 3 states had ruled Trump's order on birthright citizenship blatantly violates the Constitution and Supreme Court precedent, issuing nationwide injunctions blocking the order from taking effect. But today, Justice Amy Coney Barrett, writing for the majority, said those sweeping injunctions went too far and that federal courts do not exercise general oversight of the executive branch. They resolve cases and controversies.
I want to thank Justice Barrett, who wrote the opinion brilliantly, as well as Chief Justice Roberts and Justices Alito, Gorsuch, Kavanaugh, and Thomas. Great people.
In a biting dissent, Justice Sonia Sotomayor said the liberal justices would not join so grave an attack on our system of law, saying Trump's bid to end birthright citizenship makes a solemn mockery of our Constitution. The court's decision took no position on whether Trump's executive order is constitutional, though the ruling does let him put it into effect in 30 days. But at the White House today, no explanation of how that would work. Attorney General Pam Bondi deflecting when pressed on how exactly citizenship for newborns across America would be determined.
Who would be tasked with actually vetting citizenship? And how, would this be a situation where you have nurses and doctors checking for citizenship of parents?
Ready to reduce your business's operating costs?
With Atlantic City Electric's business energy management, you'll get an
This is all pending litigation. It's going to be decided in October by the Supreme Court, and we'll discuss that after the litigation.
But there is currently no litigation before the Supreme Court in October involving birthright citizenship. Still, opponents of Trump's order are vowing to get the issue back before the justices as soon as possible. With the impact of today's decision could be far-reaching. Dozens of federal judges have issued nationwide injunctions against some of President Trump's controversial policies, from layoffs of federal workers to federal funding freezes of foreign aid. Some of those injunctions may now need to be rolled back or lifted entirely. Whip.
And Devin, the Supreme Court also issuing several other major rulings today.
It sure did. The Supreme Court upheld those popular Obamacare no-cost preventive healthcare services. The justices also said that parents have a right to remove their children from classrooms when LGBTQ books that violate their religious beliefs are used. And the court upheld online age verification for adult websites in an effort to protect children. Whit?
All right, Devin Dwyer with that major news from the Supreme Court. We appreciate it. Thank you. We move now to the dangerous weather threat as we come on tonight. Powerful thunderstorms and more than 8,000 flights already canceled or delayed nationwide. Severe weather on the way for parts of the upper Midwest and along the I-95 corridor, including D.C., New York, and New England. And the scorching temperatures rising again in the Northeast. Lee Goldberg with the forecast in just a moment. But first, here's ABC's Stephanie Ramos.
Tonight, severe storms battering much of the heartland for a second straight day. More than 750 flights delayed at Chicago airports, dozens more canceled. That system prompting a traffic nightmare overnight on the West Virginia Turnpike. South of Charleston, part of the road closed due to high water. Local officials say they got 5 inches of